extra strength, so we gave us the power, so we he's showing out, that's why we
Yo, we are back. Episode. Man, I'm on the wrong thing. Hold on. We all messed up. Hold on, man. We on yesterday. But this ain't yesterday. This is today. Hold on. Let me get y'all straight. Here we go. Yo. We are back.
Right.
There
now
it
we
is. Back. Episode 31 of the Not the Same Podcast. Not literally 31. Season 2. Episode 31 of the Not the Same Podcast.
Yeah, man.
Hosted by this one word, C. Michael, and that one word, Rob Redeem. What's up, brother?
Bruh, you know where I've been today.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm still waking up. Hey, y'all know what saw my favorite movie today.
Yeah.
I caught the hour 30-minute show. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's one of them type things. So I'm still trying to get it together. But the hour 30-minute show of the back of the eyelids, I'm telling you, I'm feeling refreshed, rejuvenated.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Redeemed, if you will. You know, I'm feeling good. What's up with you over there, bro?
Bro, I'm just happy, man. I am happy, man. If y'all did not know, if you didn't see the graphics, if you're just a regular watcher of the Not the Same Podcast, you slid through and didn't see the graphics, we're going to have a special guest tonight. Our homeboy, our brother, a regular member of the Not the Same Podcast chat, actually.
Yeah, man.
Our homeboy, DJ B+, will be live in the building in just a few moments. So, man, hey, get ready for that. But before all that, we need y'all to do something. Hagans, what up, sir? Fly Eagles fly still. Even though y'all lost, Fly Eagles fly. Salute to y'all.
What up, little bro?
Listen,
what up,
man.
D?
If
what
you're
up,
watching us exclusively tonight on YouTube, I need you to do us a favor and do like what you see on the screen. Number 1, hit that like button. Number 2, hit the subscribe button. And number 3, hit that notification button, bell actually, with your notification face, so you'll know when we is live on the Not the Same Podcast. You know what I mean? And while you're doing that, do what my brother finna talk about.
Hey, how about if you got Spotify, if you have iTunes, go ahead and subscribe to the Not the Same Podcast streaming service as well, man, because we in all them spots. But we want to give a special shout out to our rebroadcasters, The Takeover, Parable Radio, Scooter Praise 365, Who's Hop, His Hop Podcast Network. We also want to give our man Eric Boston, 520 Collective. And I think I got somebody else I think I need to talk about, but I just can't. Who am I missing, bro? I think I said
the Takeover Radio Show.
I said Takeover, but I didn't say our man Orlando Page or RYC Praise News. We always want to give mad love to everybody.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Who rebroadcast. And like I said, we might be a little international coming soon. So y'all get ready for that.
All of that, man. So, hey, we appreciate everybody that's sliding through, everybody that came through, you know what I'm saying? But we about to get into this show for real. So let's get it started, because we do not want to delay our special guest tonight, because we got some stuff we're going to be doing. So, hold on. I'm all on. There we go.
What's good?
Robert Dean, my brother from another mother, like my homie Larry Rogers on the west side. Some say it's the best side, but I roll in the Midwest, but be careful on the west side of St. Louis. Tuck in your chain. Man, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's good for me, man? Listen, I've always said I'm a little too young to be a pawpaw, a granddad. You know what I'm saying? A G. So I'm OG pop to my baby girl, man. And me and baby girl, my granddaughter Layla, she, you know what I'm saying, had me over here. I'm wrapped around her finger, and I'm telling you right now, in the future, for all you little young one words, don't try.
You little whippersnappers.
Don't try. But no, I had my granddaughter the last 2 days, man, and been feeling good. You know, Robbie love the kids. I got a bunch of my own, and now I got grandkids. So, you know, just keeping it going. I guarantee you this. That namesake will carry on. You hear me? What's good with you, bro?
The funny part is that you said Robert love the kids, and we gonna sound like super dateable. Back in the day, Trick be like, Trick love the kids, you know.
Right.
People don't know nothing about that. People don't know who Trick Daddy.
OG Pop, not G-Paw. I'm too young for that. OG Pop.
OG Pop. All right, man, what's good with me, man, is last week, y'all know I'm always about these Marvel movies. I enjoy them. Black Panther Wakanda Forever came out last week, man. It's a very, very, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you to go see it. Now, if your spirit is grieved, because I've seen some people talking, man, my spirit is grieved, just don't go see the movie.
No.
I mean, really, why you got to announce that your spirit is grieved by Black Panther? Like, I don't really care. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Why is you telling me that your spirit is grieved? Why you got to announce it? Ain't that kind of like pride? Anyway, Wakanda Forever. For me, brother, I enjoyed the movie. It was a good movie, man, and I think it will definitely win awards. Definitely will win some awards because very good story, man. Very good story.
I agree. They didn't try. I believe they pay homage to Chadwick. I mean, they did well on continuing and introducing new characters in the new story. It was definitely a good movie, and I don't want to get no spoilers. Yeah, it was good.
But next week you getting spoilers. You ain't go. That's on yourself. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what, Hagens? Not today. One word. That ain't my last name, brother.
Not at all. All right, man. Without further ado, man, we're gonna bring our brother on for a minute, man. We got some stuff to talk about with our homeboy, Mr. B+. You know what I mean? Let's see if this brother over here. What's up, brother? What up, sir?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey,
welcome to the Not the Same podcast, man. Good to see you in the flesh, for real. We always see you in the chat, man. Now, this is going to let y'all know something. We respect our watchers of the Not the Same podcast. You see this brother on the screen? We met him on other places, but we met him really through the show, man. And he's right here. So that could be you one day if you actually interested. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, hey, we definitely want to welcome our brother B+ to the show. He is radio host of the Be Positive Music Show on Sirius XM Radio, channel 154. So if you're cruising and you want to check my man out, I believe you out, 6 p.m. on what days, brother?
On Saturdays, on every Saturday.
Every Saturday. So y'all make sure y'all check them out. Again, B+ of the Be Positive Music Show on Sirius XM Radio, channel 154. So my man is doing big things, and he's supporting CHH, and that's the reason we wanted to bring him on. So we do all our one words we bring on. Go ahead and give him them cheers, bro.
Man, we got to give him one of these for being on the Not the Same podcast. Everybody in the chat, give some thumbs up, claps, whatever, the loves, likes, all that. You know what I mean? Now this look like that might be Mama over there. Is that Mama, brother?
Of course it is.
I can tell. I can see it. I can see it. I see it. Right Salute to Mama. Salute to Mama. Appreciate you sliding through, Mama.
Hello.
All right, man. As Rob said, also check out some of B+'s YouTube videos too. Not just the radio show, but as well as the YouTube video. He does breakdowns. He did a breakdown of CC4. I believe that's right. Yeah, CC4.
Yeah, that's it.
Great project. Great project. Matter of fact, we will be premiering one new video from that project tonight, in a minute. And you'll be here, brother. You'll be able to watch it with us.
Hey, let's go.
We ain't tell you, but now you know. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, it should be cool, man. So before we get all deep stuff, man, we just want to really thank you, man. I salute what you're doing. I see what you're doing all the time, man. And honor to you, brother. For real, man. Because I think we should give people flowers now. Don't wait till later. Don't wait till they moved on. Don't wait till they blew up. No, I'm going to give you flowers now before you blow all the way up so you don't forget about us brothers over here. Not the same podcast.
Hey, man. I'm just happy to be here tonight, man. Y'all, I really do look up to you guys a lot. But well before the Not the Same podcast, I listened to some of your music back in the day. I've just been a Christian hip-hop head my entire life. So
yes, sir.
To kind of fast forward here, and I know how people always say that Twitter's not a real place and social media's not a real place, but if you use it the right way, you can build on some relationships and things like that. So I'm super honored to be here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's dope. I got to get my Twitter game up.
Once again. But anyway, back to the show. As normal, I always allow my brother Rob Dean to go first with the questions. Please do not be too mean to our guest. I actually like this guest, Rob. So don't be mean to our guest, brother. Let's go.
Hey, man, this is what I want to say. Big salute to you. But tell us your passion, something that you said in your introduction about being a hip-hop head, a CHH hip-hop head. Where did that passion come from? Because we're getting good CHH now. Back in the day, it was like eat the meat and spit out the bones, and you was eating buffalo fish. And buffalo fish got a lot of bones, brother. So how did that love and passion come for CHH?
I think I always enjoyed rap, but shout out to my mom who's checking out the show. She didn't play that. Her and my dad didn't play that. We weren't gonna have no ratchet music in the house. But my older brother Vernard, who might be here in the chat, I'm not sure if he's here, but he brought home an album. I think the guy's name was something G, Mike G. It was a Christian rapper. He brought that home. I listened to that. And then he just started bringing in a bunch of stuff, a lot of Grape Tree,
Yeah,
A
Grape
lot of
Tree was it
Salute
back
the
in the
Grape
day.
Tree.
yeah, a lot of cross movement.
Yes, sir.
And so yeah, so that's kind of where it started, like maybe mid '90s.
Yeah.
But then again, shout out to my mom. She was a superintendent of Sunday school, or she was really
Mhm.
heavily involved in Sunday school. So we would be at Berean Christian Bookstore
Yeah.
all the
Boy,
time.
oh,
And she'd
hold
be
on, hold on,
looking
hold on. Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Berean Christian Bookstore, and like we would, and they had like these little CD players where you can
I
go
knew
put your
about it.
little over your
Right,
ear
put
Yes,
the
sir.
headphones
Yes, sir.
up.
Well, you could try before you buy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you would go ahead and put it in there. You would spin it a little bit, get some listens in, see if you like
Yeah.
it or not. And I was that little kid who was like waiting for that next Grape Tree album to come out, because I would if they didn't have a demo, I would
Right.
take one to the front and be like, "Hey, they don't have a demo for this one," and they would rip it open. I would sit down with those little headphones on, and every once in a while, my mom would hook me up and she would buy one for me. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of where it started. And then it's kind of fast forward. My brother, he's a gospel artist, gospel rapper as well. The Cincinnati scene was buzzing a whole lot in the late 2000s,
This is facts.
late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows like the people who really popped, like D-Mob and K-Drama.
Mhm.
A side note, D-Mob is my godbrother. Like he
Wow.
made some of his first
Oh,
music
wow.
with my brother. I remember them being up in my brother's bedroom making music. So it's always, ever since I've been like a teenager, 13, 14 years old, it's always been
Mhm.
Christian hip hop. I really didn't have a need to go outside of Christian hip hop to satisfy my rap cravings.
Yeah.
But you're right, it wasn't all great back then. A lot of them had good hearts, but the music wasn't quite there yet.
They were doing their best, you know.
Doing their best.
Unto the Lord, you know what it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let the people know, what was your salvation experience like coming to Christ?
Man, I grew up in you guys may relate. I grew up in a Pentecostal apostolic environment. It was
Mhm.
kind of dogmatic, if you will.
Mhm.
Salvation looked a certain way.
Yeah.
And if you didn't come that certain way, then like you really wasn't looked at like you were saved. A lot of the
Right.
other denominations
Right.
weren't looked at as they were saved. So it can. I'm appreciative of my foundation, but at the same time, I do. I mean, two things can be true at the same time. You can be very
Mhm.
appreciative of something, but still also talk about some of the things where it kind of went lacking and didn't provide everything that you needed. So grew
Yeah.
up very very in that very dogmatic type of world. Got to college and got around some Lutherans, some Episcopalians, some
Mhm.
Presbyterian, Baptists, and some of the most godly guys, young kids I've been around.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of confused, like, so are they saved or not? Because they're not doing what
What I was doing.
told you gotta do,
Right.
but they
Right.
got all the fruit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
a lot of my kids, and a lot of kids that I grew up with, they were not in church anymore, but they were saved according to that rule book.
Right.
So,
Right.
so
I
for
like
me,
that.
it was always about a relationship and the foundation that my parents gave me. Even through the denomination that I came up in and things like that, they always taught me the Bible. They always taught me to love people, and they just taught me just to, if you love the Lord, you're gonna do what He says,
Yeah, man.
and you're
Yeah,
gonna
man.
strive for that. And it's a difference between like just going out and saying you're a Christian versus actually being a Christian and actually walking through the hard times and things like that. And
Yeah.
so that's pretty much my salvation story. It was through that denomination, but at the same time, through the foundation my parents gave me.
Dope.
Yeah. Hey, once again, we're talking to B+ of the Be Positive Music Show on Sirius XM Radio.
Mhm.
Good brother, like you said, supporter of the Not the Same podcast, always in the comments.
Yes,
Something
sir.
that you said about your salvation experience. Talk about CHH today compared to, I know you did a segment where you talked about, like, I guess you could say milk and meat, if you will. We'll say meat
Yeah.
music for the older saints who have something
Yeah.
to talk about. Not saying that the young people don't have anything to say, but
Right.
we're a little more seasoned, if you will. So what did you think about the state of CHH today? I know that was a lot to take in, but the question itself is your opinion of the state of CHH today.
Man, it's funny. I just saw my oldest brother, who's responsible for my love for Christian hip hop. Vinar is in the chat, so shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
What's going on,
and
bro?
me and him and me and him have actually been talking a lot about this lately, and I'm actually working on like some type of like diagram or something to kind of help me explain to people like Christian hip hop, how it was back in the early days, like
Yeah.
the late 90s versus now. I feel like back then you almost had to be very, very theologically sound, just because we had people like the G. Craig Lewis's floating around the black church.
Yeah.
Trying
people
to
that,
stamp
like,
you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like cross movement, they were the answer to that, because I mean you couldn't deny it. Like, there's Christ in the bars.
Right.
So, but I feel like a lot of people kind of followed that model for a while. It felt like it was a prerequisite. You had to be like going to seminary to be a Christian rapper, and it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
There's nothing wrong about that, but at the same time, like, that shouldn't be a prerequisite. So I would say, like, looking back then, how Christian hip hop was, I feel like it was a lot more deep.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that many like really, really, really dope artists. It was, so think
That's a
about it
fact.
like being, not to say that it's shallow now, but I say now you have the in Christian hip hop now, you don't have to be like that super theologically sound, like I'm going to preach scripture to you.
Right.
You can have people who are just going to have fun. You're going to have people who just who are going to play music that you want to just go work out to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's clean. They're not screaming Jesus. They may not even mention anything about the word or Christ, anything in the song. But at the same time, this is a clean alternative that you can just go to the gym and listen to. So
Right.
I would say back then it was more, it was deep, but it just really wasn't as there really weren't as many good artists. And now I feel like it's kind of flipped a little bit now. Like, you have a ton of good artists, but we're in a place now where Christian hip hop just doesn't have to be scripture
Right.
over beat. So,
Right.
in a nutshell, that's kind of how I feel.
All right, that
Okay.
kind of leads into my next question, and we occupy a lot of the same spaces in Twitter. So the last 2 weeks, there's been this conversation about CHH is dead. You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts about this conversation? Because it is before you even go in it, I'm gonna say this to the people that's watching. It's not gonna be a simple answer, because it's a very layered conversation, and Twitter I don't know what you ain't got enough Twitter characters to really answer this. So I think I really think it would be better for you to be able to answer this in person, where you can have your space to talk about it. So go ahead, go in, brother.
So number one, it's funny because I'm laughing because CHH fans, they get triggered when they hear that CHH is dead, and I'm laughing, but I'm a big Christian hip hop fan.
Yes, sir.
And the thing is, like, I've only been on Twitter for about maybe 2 or 3 years. And since I've been on Twitter, about every 4 months or so, this conversation happens.
Yeah.
And I think this time it probably lasted a little bit longer. Probably went about 8 months this time. But it happens very regularly where people start saying Christian hip hop is dead, and Christian hip hop fans and artists get triggered.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different, it's a whole lot of different people's standpoints on it. But and I tweeted about it because there's two people that I really respect. One of them, somebody who's been on the show before, Mitch Durrell.
Yeah.
He had a post about it saying Christian hip hop is alive and well, and I like that, and I retweeted it. But then Brandon Boone, who is I'm gonna forget now. I think he's with RMG, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
He tweeted Christian hip hop is dead, and I liked and retweeted that. So I think from a standpoint of if you didn't hear the heart of what Brandon Boone was talking about, he was talking about the infrastructure and things like that.
Right.
Saying Christian hip hop is dead. But as far as the artists, as far as how people sound sonically, the freedom that there is in Christian hip hop to go the super spiritual route or to go the fun, clean route.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, it's never been better, and it's not close.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I would say maybe 2008 to 2012 was a really good time, but like right now, it's a really good time in Christian hip hop. So I don't like the term dead necessarily.
Yeah.
But I get the point that he's making, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Tadashi on his podcast, The Dash, He had Aha Gazelle on, and they had
Yeah.
they had this conversation about a week or so ago as well, and I thought that was pretty interesting as well. So I just think that people say it to make a splash and to make a point,
Absolutely.
which is cool,
Yeah.
But some people take it and I don't like how some people take the whole CHH is dead, and some people take that and they want to bash on the other artists who may not be overtly Christian enough. And I don't like that. I don't like that when you don't do CHH the way that they want you to do it, they start to I don't know. I just don't. Everybody doesn't have to do it the same way. There's more lanes in Christian hip hop than just, hey, I'm gonna spit theology over this track. If it ain't Beautiful Eulogy, if it ain't early CMR, then it's trash.
Right.
I just think it's like the you guys' intro song.
Yeah.
It's throw that on. I go to the gym.
Right.
It doesn't have to be salvific. It doesn't have to have any redemptive qualities in it. It's just good, clean. I'm gonna go to the gym and throw around these weights, or try to. Everybody can't be Rob, but we try to throw around these weights a little bit.
Everybody ain't picking up 65s like this brother, right?
No, give me the 35s. I go for reps.
Hey Rob, before you go, I want to comment
ahead.
on this, man, because I haven't spoken publicly about this. Number one, I fully agree with everything you're saying, and I come from the time that you did the exact same way almost. My intro to CHH was Gospel Gangsters, the first thing I heard. And then I heard All the Grape Tree. And then I eventually heard, and I was liking it, but I kind of felt something like, man, this is kind of like Christian No Limit. And then Cross Mover came in. I was like, oh, my God, this is revolutionary. And it was very weird for me being a Southern person to love East Coast music so much at that time, because in general, I wouldn't call myself an East Coast favor. I don't hate it, but, I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. That wasn't being played. You feel what I'm saying? But these guys' passion for the word was so outstanding to me. It just blew my mind, and it made me love it. To this question here, and I want you to comment on this too, Rob. I know this is a little different, but I think this is a good topic. To this question here, or to the thing about CHH is dead, the child in me that grew up loving CHH is offended every time I hear that, because that's my baby. Just like people that love LeBron now and say he's the GOAT, and people that love MJ and they say LeBron the GOAT, they get mad. Oh, he can't be the GOAT. But LeBron is very, very good. Just like MJ was very, very good, but it's a different time and season. But I also think people should bring, because I watched Mitch's video on this, and I really love this video. And I think people, when they say CHH is dead, give explainers on what you're talking about. Because a lot of people are talking about the infrastructure and not the whole thing. So these people are talking about, okay, I can't make a living doing CHH. Me personally, I was a rapper, and from day one, I never thought I was going to make a living. I always worked a job. When I was traveling every weekend and doing tours, I always worked a job. So me personally, that was never offensive to me, because I came in with the point of, I'm rapping for Jesus. I'm trying to get people saved. You dig what I'm saying? And I recognize that everyone don't have that point. I get it, and I'm not offended by that. And I think there's millions of lanes for CHH, but I think we have to be careful when we make those statements, because like you say, I don't like the word dead. And if you're talking about infrastructure, say that. No hate to the guy that said that. But if you're talking about infrastructure, say that. Don't not say it, because it's kind of backhanded, in my opinion.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like he tweeted it at the same time. He said the CHH is dead, and then he ended that tweet. Then the next tweet was saying, I'm talking about infrastructure. But the thing, people only see the headline.
I only see the headline. Exactly.
And the first tweet of the thread, that's what's going to get retweeted. Right. And that's going to take and go, and people are going to run with that. Absolutely. Not knowing that right after that, he explained himself. But at that point, you throw that out there, then you have those other people, the book, chapter, verse, Jesus bar people who want to take that and say, see, I don't like anything these people, they talking about social justice, they talking about this, they talking about politics, this and that. Or you have the people who are just, it's maybe a little, I'll say it, some artists who are just jealous of the bigger artists.
Talk to them. Say it again. Say it again.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't plan on saying it, but I went ahead and said it. I think that some people are just jealous of the bigger artists, and they feel like, I mean, obviously there's going to be politics and gatekeeping within everywhere. It's
every
genre.
genre.
In Christian hip hop, just the same way it's going to be in CCM and gospel. The same
Yes.
way it's going to be in church denominations.
Yes.
Like it's just kind of the way it is. But some people when they're not getting accepted, their music isn't getting accepted as some of the bigger artists, they must feel like, well, they're doing something wrong and I'm doing something right, and I
Right.
am like, I'm him.
Right.
And people,
Yeah.
if you're not loving my
Yes.
music, then you're just a
Yeah.
hater. And it's
Yes.
just like sometimes you just don't make music for everybody.
Yes.
And
And sometimes you ain't good. We don't like to say that, but some people just ain't good.
because I'm be positive. I try to keep it positive. That's why I don't give these takes. But I consider y'all family, so I'm gonna give you y'all a little bit more. But some people they just either they aren't good or they're not providing a unique identifier about them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like they're not bringing anything that's different to the table to make people want to stop and listen to their music.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are just the facts. And I feel like when they say Christian hip hop is dead, sometimes those people come in and say it is dead because if it was alive, then I would be on. And I'm just kind of like,
Right.
that's not necessarily
Right.
the case.
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead,
I mean,
Rob.
and the other part I feel like in that is, are you investing in yourself? Some of this is self-inflicted. You can't just put a track out and be like, it's hot, I'm submitting, and nobody. No, you gotta put stuff behind. You gotta put. Bottom line, it's a business. We don't want to talk about that either. I understand because C and I are both ministry minded. Whenever we get on stage and do anything, we minister and try to lead people to the gospel. But like C, I never thought, yeah, I'm about to be on the world tour and I'm about to get paid off of this. That never was it. It's always been, I'd rather see, if one person gets saved, then I felt like that song, that album was a success. If one
Right.
person comes up and say, hey, that made me think. I didn't want to kill myself. That made me think. I got back in the word because of something that you said. But the CHH dead thing, I think a lot of it be for shock value. You know what I mean? Just to get people to come in, I'm going to say this, and then I can bait them in, and then they can hear this. And it's ways of going about doing it. And I feel like something that both of you guys said once before is different lanes.
Yeah.
I don't like everything that C likes. C don't like everything that I like. You dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's too many lanes in its ears for everything, and the whole church culture, denomination, that plays a key role, man. It really does, because even though like Reform, they don't call it that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then this goes into my question for you. I know we're on this, so I'm gonna save it for my question. But most Reform folks have went a different route, and they deconstruct them right now, if you will.
Not saying nothing's wrong with Reform, folks. Put that out there.
Not saying
Nothing
anything
with
is
that
wrong.
at all.
And then the tongue talkers.
That's your
now,
lane. That's your lane.
that's your lane.
God.
And then for the charismatic folks, it's like let's bash them. You know what I mean? Because they turned their back on the Lord, and it's the division part. And like you said, a lot of jealousy going on.
Yeah,
a lot of jealousy going on.
All right, brother. Give me your question, brother. No,
I mean, I was just commenting, but can you did about 2 days ago, you released a video on deconstruction.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Let's talk about that. Because to me right now, when you hear the word deconstruction, a lot of people feel like, see, they walked away from the faith.
Yeah.
And if you're going to deconstruct something, only thing I always say for these brothers to say I'm deconstructing, don't use that as your avenue for sin. Use it to build back up your faith so you can reconstruct and get a firm foundation. If it was because you were indoctrinated from a doctrine, be it, you know what I mean, if it was Reformed, if it was Baptist, if it was, Lutheran, whatever the case may be. But can you speak on your take of deconstruction?
I'm pretty sure you're probably referring to the snippet that I had from my show this past weekend, where I was talking about. I have a few different analogies when it comes to deconstruction that I use. The one that I used on the show was God in the envelope. God is handed to you in the envelope, and that envelope can be a denomination, a social structure. It could be handed to you in a denomination, like in my case. It could be handed to you in some type of political envelope.
Yeah.
But I feel like what often happens, people are handed God in this envelope. They find out there's something wrong with the envelope. Rather than taking God out and keeping walking with God, they throw the whole envelope away. They burn the whole thing. And I feel like if I'm handed God in the envelope, and my things were challenged about my denomination, and I'm sitting there holding this envelope with God in it, and I'm like, okay, let me take God outside of this envelope and let's talk about it. Let's talk about this denomination.
Yeah.
But let me still hold on to God. So that's what I was talking about in that snippet from my show. But another analogy that I like to use when it comes to deconstruction, I like to talk about, I sometimes call it a faith renovation. Just
Yeah,
like, cause
yeah.
me and my wife all the time, we don't do it as much as we used to, but we used to watch HGTV all the time.
Yeah.
And
Love them shows.
oh yeah, man, Flip
Yes,
or
sir.
Flop. It's a good bones. It's a lot of good
Yes, sir.
ones.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
But we,
folks, excuse me for interrupting this, brother, but I ain't gonna lie and tell y'all I love them shows. I mean,
Well,
I'm hell
well, we do.
Help. No, I'm just playing. Go
hey,
ahead.
but they be good sometimes though.
Yeah.
But
They do. I ain't gonna lie.
but yeah, so like when you're going through that process of getting a house and flipping it, one thing that they always do, they kind of look at it, they want to figure out, okay, what do we want to do with this? And they strip the whole house down and they build it, make it new. But one thing that they always do is they bring in an expert.
Yeah.
And the expert tells them, like, you can't knock that wall down.
Mm.
You can do this, but if you do this, it's going to cause that problem. So they have
Yeah.
this expert that's like, hey, as you going through in your demolition day, you're tearing down this house. There's certain things that you just cannot touch for this house to be able to be rebuilt and be able to last. And I look at deconstruction the same way. As we're going through this period, because it's going to happen. You're going to get challenged. Christ was poking at the Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes his entire life. Well, the 3 years that he was ministering on this earth.
Yeah.
And he was constantly causing them to think, like, when it came to washing their hands, like, because he didn't wash his hands one time. They like, hold on, cuz you're supposed to be like the ceremonial washing the hands. He just
Right.
He had to deal with them that way. They thought that he was going to come with that like a king,
Right.
like the line
Conqueror.
of David, busting some heads open.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, this is an upside down kingdom. So he took and he deconstructed what they thought, and he reconstructed, hey, this is how it's supposed to be. And so I kind of look at it the same way that conversation, that if you're deconstructing and you don't have somebody with you, like an OG who's able to like really guide you in this, it's very, I mean, you might not deconstruct, you might end up destroying. So I understand people's apprehension when it comes to deconstruction, but at the same time, it's like, whether you want to call it that or not, you doing it because your faith is getting challenged. You're gonna go through something in your life, and it's gonna cause you to look in the mirror and be like, do I really believe what God said?
Yeah.
And it's just inevitable. If you're in this body, it's gonna happen. And it's happened to, I mean, there's stories in the Bible where it's happened to people. So you can try to avoid it if you want to, but deconstruction is, and if you don't like that name, sorry, but
right.
it happens in some form.
I like that, bro. Good. Yeah, I like that one. That was good.
Okay, before we came on, we was talking a little bit offline, and you talked about, you played ball in college for a little bit. All right, where did your love of hoops come from?
Man, I would say that came from my dad.
Yeah.
I say my dad was my coach. From second grade. He coached me every year from like second grade all the way up to about maybe ninth grade in some capacity, whether it was just school ball or AAU ball.
Yeah.
And like that's still it. That's my guy. He texting me to this day, like with these young kids, they blowing his mind with their athleticism. Like Job, I know you a Job fan because you
Yes,
met the
sir.
Grizzlies.
Yes, sir.
But he'll send me text like, man, what is this guy on? I'm like, they different nowadays. So my dad, I think I gotta credit that one to my dad. My love for ball, been playing it, like I said, since second grade, and it was a blessing, man. It paid for my school. I got to travel quite a bit in AAU ball, and then playing college ball. I got to do my dream. I got to play Division I basketball. That was the goal of mine ever since I found out you can do it. When I first, my dad brought home a bracket. He brought home like that 60-14 bracket.
Yeah.
I remember the first time he did it because he was like, "We're gonna get these brackets and we're gonna write down who we think is gonna win every game."
Yeah.
I was like, I was maybe in like seventh grade or so, and I was just kind of like, I want to play for one of these teams that's on this bracket.
Yeah.
And I want to go and I want to play in this tournament. And that's when it was like, hey, I want to play Division I ball. Able to do that, but we didn't make the tournament in the year I was there. So that was disappointing, but I got to do it. I got to do it.
Right.
Man,
Hey,
big salute, brother.
and we don't want to hold you on. Again, we talking to B+, longtime supporter of the podcast, a brother in the faith, and a good brother. But talk about, because you are married, you have 2 children, you have a job. We talked about this, been a long week for all of us. Talk about that balance, man. And what I mean by that, on correct balance of putting God first, spending time with your wife, being a father, and then handling your business outside. How do you balance that?
Man, it's a constant balancing act. I don't claim to say that I have it down. I try to be self-aware and knowing when I'm like leaning too much in one direction. But I would say the one thing about family is it really just keeps you centered and keeps you focused on what's really important.
Yeah.
But just like this week, like if the kids aren't feeling well, then like everything stops, and you gotta take care of that. And on the other end of it, like I work a regular 9-to-5 job. My wife does too, and we're busy, and it's one of those things. And then also having small kids, it's you're constantly balancing a whole lot, and so I would say I don't know what the keys are. I don't want to be one of those people who come in here and be like, oh, well, you got to do this. You set aside this type of time. I try to do those things. I have certain nights where I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to work on my weekend show. All right, this is the time where I'm going to work on stuff for YouTube, and this is when I'm going to work on just like my own hobbies and stuff like that. But what I will say is, if you have those responsibilities, don't take your hobbies and your responsibilities and do those things when you're supposed to be taking care of home. A lot of times, I take care of the house. If I want to do something around the YouTube videos, my radio show, whatever it may be, hooping. Yeah. And I'll get up some days at 5:30 in the morning, go get my ball before everybody gets up, and I go down to the park, put myself through a workout, and stay in shape, do all that stuff. Or conversely, at the end of the day, when everybody goes to sleep, I'll stay up for an extra hour and a half to sometimes 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, trying to knock out this stuff. So I may not have the answers as far as how to balance it all, but I will say don't put those hobbies in front of your family. I will say that if it's that important to you, you find time outside of that to have fun with those hobbies and stuff. And I do that. I try to do that. It gives me balance. It gives me, because this world is crazy. It's always something popping off every news cycle. So you got to have your outlets.
No.
All right, brother. Well, before we let you go, man, we wanted to do something special like I told you about at the beginning, man. We got this new video by Lecrae called Still in America from the CC4 project, and I want you to watch it with us, brother, live on the air. We finna bring it up right now. Here we go.
Do it.
I'm still in America, beautiful, elegant, simple, and arrogant. It's plenty hysteria after they shot at them schools in that new cafeteria. Don't sneak in our area, cause if you ain't patriotic, you might be a terrorist. I know it's embarrassing, we say united, we stand, but divisions out there. No GED, no EBT, just BBL. That CDC say quarantine, my PPP say. Look at your race, what they gon' say? Stay in your place. Made a mistake, open the case, open the gates. Yeah, go ahead and pray for that visa. See how America treats you. We keep our history shrouded in mystery. Can't let them know all our secrets. Men become ladies. Ladies want more than some babies. They want to be treated like people. Land of the free, but the freedom ain't equal. We love our politics more than our people. Monday we evil, but Friday we good. Lululemon right there in your hood. If you in poverty, go in the lottery. Then we might treat you the way that we should. You could be anything. If you got money, so get it by any means. Hustle is muscle and you looking weak, so you better go get you some creatine. Get your weight up. Out here in America, man.
Hello. I'm still in America, where church is a Broadway production for relevance. We traded the kingdom to build an empire, so people don't trust us apparently. We worship economy. We'll kill our own babies to keep our autonomy. You mess with our Second Amendment, we probably gon' riot.
But take out the probably. I'm still in America. The coast where I live, we ain't speaking much English. We do all the labor and do all the cleaning, but we don't get treated like equals. Some of us trust in the law, some don't. Some law enforcement will say you from evil, you call them, and then again some of them won't. Sometimes we cheat us to get our cheese up and take your piece of the pie. Sometimes we Caesar, sometimes we Jesus, and we might get crucified. We preach civil rights, have a civil fight. BLM might take your money, buy expensive flights. Daddy sending kites, mama full of sleepless nights. Base head pipe dream, left wing, right wing, don't vote right, it's still on sight. Same gang, but we different colors. Forefathers, but none of us brothers. Some are born here, some are sworn here. Either live free or kill each other.
Salute to Mr. Lecrae, man. That was this Still in America by Mr. Lecrae from the CC4 project. And man, that was a dope video, man. What you think, brother?
You talking to me or the other brother?
No, I'm talking to DJ B+, brother.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. Actually, that was my first time seeing the full video. I saw some snippets like on Twitter. I like how he did the portion where he was kind of had like the broadcaster type of voice or like the
through the radio.
That
was dope. Yeah.
I like because obviously I heard the song before, but I hadn't seen it how it was presented. So I thought that was pretty cool. Lecrae a big dude, man. A big dude.
Oh yeah.
He can look a little intimidating. That's why I can see like why sometimes when he starts talking about things that he's been through and sometimes the plight of the Black Christian. Yeah, I see why people can get a little intimidated because he's a big dude with a big voice and they just sometimes they can't handle it. So I really like how he presented the video. That was dope.
So I mean we're on this, but I know you did it real quick before we let you go. You did a whole review. So what was your review for the whole album itself? Man,
I thought it was a great conclusion to the Church Clothes series. The same way he kind of opened it up with because going back to 2012 when he dropped the first Church Clothes, that was right on the heels of him like I think it was right before he put out Gravity. So this is like around that time where like everybody was putting their arms around him within those reform circles. Yep. And the purpose of Church Clothes, in my opinion, was just to really speak to the people of where like he came from. It was speaking to like his hood, to his people, because I mean it can be difficult. Like you want to rap for a living, and then you have an opportunity to do that, and but it's the people who aren't necessarily living like you. It's not speaking to kids who grew up like you, but you have an opportunity to do that. And he was doing that, but then he was like, hey, like, but there's people I need to still talk to. My people I still need to talk to. Right. And that's what I feel like Church Clothes was just from start to finish. And I feel like this was a really good ending to that. Just like with Still in America, that being a callback to the song Welcome to America. I feel like just the way he ended it with Journey and Deconstruction, I feel like that answered a lot of questions to his album, All Things Work Together. I really feel like he just he answered a lot of questions about the different moves that he made in this album. He even kind of poked fun at himself in one of the songs. I think it was Misconceptions, the one where he was saying like, hey, like I'm friends with Kendrick, like I'm cool. But he was like, he was almost kind of like making fun of himself, like, man, like that's kind of what I was on, and maybe that wasn't the right thing I should have been on. So I don't know. I thought it was a great conclusion to Church Clothes 4. I don't quickly go into like, is it the best one or not? I like enjoying art for what it is. But I thought it was dope.
I think my bad, Rob, but I think Lecrae is like one of the most talented artists ever and most humble people in person that you ever meet. I've met Lecrae multiple times. Yeah. He's been the same with me, and he remembered me. And I'm like, me? You know what I'm saying? He's been cool. Rob has met him multiple times. He's been cool, and you know, he had his missteps sometimes, his stuff that he admittedly said, like, yo, I probably shouldn't have said it that way or whatever, man. But if anybody don't think that brother don't love God, you ain't listening to that dude music. That's what I just say. And I'm not saying I'm waving the flag for Lecrae. I just want to say that in a public place. You ain't listening if you don't think that dude don't love God. He talk about my kids listening to CHH. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was said inside the project. I listened to it. I thought it was, my opinion of the project was very good, man. Like, I think he's grown as an artist. It's so much more than bars with Lecrae. You feel what I'm saying? Like with some artists, it's like how well he constructed his punchline, and that's it. But Lecrae, the way he does music is almost like art. And what I mean, it's not just musical art. I'm talking about like painting a picture. You know, it's so many layers and deep things, just like that video we just watched. But
definitely. Well, brother, we want to say thank you for coming on. Let the folks know where they can find you.
Yes, sir.
All
Please do.
social media platforms, shows, radios, all that good stuff, brother.
Well, cool. Appreciate it. I can be found. I'm only on Twitter. And I can be found at DJ_B_plus. You can find me there. If you go over to YouTube and type in B+ music, you will find everything you need to find there as far as that. And on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM channel 154, I do host the Be Positive Music Show, which airs each and every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do want to do one quick plug just for Holy Culture, if you guys don't mind, just because
Go ahead, man.
Shout out to
there's
Tree.
been a whole lot of talk about CHH and its infrastructure, and not only to plug Holy Culture, but just to plug Not the Same Podcast, just to plug a lot of outlets out here who have shows just like this. Tap into them. When you're getting ready to release stuff, the same way I'm sitting here right now, I'm pretty sure that C. Mike and Rob will have artists on to do something like this just to promote their album before it comes out or after it comes out. I do my best. I'm only one person, and I try to do album reviews as much as I can. But as I said, I have a whole entire family, and I have a whole entire job too. So
sir.
I can't always do that. But tap in on Holy Culture Radio. If you go to holyculture.net, you can find all the information that you need. But Holy Culture Radio has 14 programmed shows that are all. That's a 24/7 Christian hip hop station. A lot of times people talk about what Christian hip hop isn't, but let's talk about what it is.
Please.
Sirius
like
XM
Yes, sir.
they thought enough of CHH to give Trig and Holy Culture Radio a 24/7 radio Christian hip hop only radio station. That's all it plays. So there's 14, like I said, there's 14 shows that are on that station. Those are 14 personalities. Those are 14 people that that Christian hip hop artists can tap into.
Yeah, man.
That they can that they can learn from. I mean, just think about it. You have an album coming out, and you're on the Fix radio show. With Fix and Dice Gamble. And then that afternoon you're on another show with another artist, and then that night you're on the show with DJ Wado. Like, how come that's not a thing?
Shout out to Wado.
Wado, like that's who I feel like I grew up listening to.
Yeah,
and
man, me too.
It's
Absolutely.
a huge blessing to even think that I'm on the same station as him at the same hour as him on a different day. But it's like it's wild to think that God's blessed me with this opportunity. So I always want to extend that opportunity to all these Christian hip hop artists out there that you have resources. We may not have all the infrastructure, but you have shows like this. You have Holy Culture Radio, you have Rapzilla, you have Ruslan's channel, you have Truth to Talks, you have Mish Darrell, you have 520 Collective, you have all these outlets that you can easily send a press release to, let them know what you have going on, and we can make CHH what it is. I still feel like it's in a position where it's like Play-Doh, and we can make it what we want it to do. But we just gotta tap in. So I know it's not what you guys asked for, but I had to give
you good.
My guys.
Hey, this your time, your platform right now, brother. You are a guest. Do your
I
thing.
got one more thing for you. This my brother Westside brought this up, and it made me think about my last question for you. You say, so if Lecrae so talented, why is he not in people's top 10 rappers? Because he's my favorite rapper, period. That reminded me of my last question I wanted to give you. Real quick, off the dome, no warning. I thought I was gonna send it to you earlier. I said, nah, man, I need off the dome. Top 5 CHH artists right now.
Right now?
Today, not last year, not over history. Right now, who's your top 5?
Such an unfair question to pop on me.
I know. But we know it's gonna be a real answer right now.
Man, that's tough. I would say the first person that came to mind was No Big Deal.
Yes, you getting it? That brother is awesome live.
Yeah.
Great voice control.
He's really good. Man, AI the Anomaly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
feel like she slept on, but yes.
As much music as I listen to,
not
my
after
brain
Misconception,
is
she ain't gonna be slept on no more because she murdered that Misconceptions joint. Bro.
Between the Misconceptions joint and that Super Bowl freestyle,
Yep.
she did her thing on both of those.
She eating right
both
now.
of those.
Yep.
So how many did I give y'all? That only two?
That's just two, brother. 3 more to go. And you know I'm all, man. I know you ain't forgot none of them.
But you got me on the spot. My brain is completely locked down. You got me sweating. Let me think. Can I cheat? Can I look around?
Yeah. You can cheat.
Let me see what I got going on over here.
You cheat, just don't go over 10 minutes. But you can cheat.
I would have to say 1K.
Okay.
Yeah, he
had a great year. He had a great year.
He had a fantastic year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased, but I love Aha.
Okay. You ain't got no problems from Rob Redeem.
You definitely don't have no problems with me with
I think
that
that brother just got married. Salute to him too on that.
Yes, sir, man. Join the winner circle.
Slept on also.
Yes, sir. Very.
And one more. Man, that's so tough. Man, let me just. Man, y'all so wrong for this. This interview was going so good, and then y'all just threw this question on me. Now I'm scrambling and making it seem like I don't listen to none of these people. Man, I'll pick somebody who's up and coming, who I'm very interested in what he's gonna do next year. I'm gonna say Bats.
Okay, the young guy. Yes, sir.
He's like I'm putting him in there just because like he hasn't put out a full album yet, but he's done enough to get people's attention. Now it's just gonna be a matter of speaking of Lecrae.
Yeah,
Lecrae is an expert at. I feel like he's an expert at getting his point across in 16 bars, and a hook, 16 more bars, and then he's out. He's very concise.
Yeah,
and he knows how to put together a project.
Yeah.
Going back to Bats now, I'm very interested to see how Bats is able to do that, because Bats is super talented. I'm really interested in seeing how he gets things concise and down into 16 bars, a hook, 16 bars, and then a nice package song, and then packaging those songs in an album. So that's why I say Bats, because I'm very interested to see how he's going to pull this off.
All right, fair enough. Now, when you get off of here, you're gonna think about 5 more people.
Right. I should have said that. He gonna. Nah, I know B+. He gonna grab this clip and put it on YouTube and be like, "Yeah, I also meant to say these folks." But I know he'll do it in a minute.
I forgot somebody.
Who was that?
Honorable
Of
mention.
course, KB. But it's too late.
That's what Westside. He added a bunch of exclamation points. Great tour. Salute to KB. Yes.
So see, that's what I'm talking about. I'll have 3 more, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We really appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
it's a good time,
man.
Hey, man, you welcome on here anytime you want to, brother. For real.
Yeah, you
Family. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it. Hey, what I want to do is I want to come and hang out with you guys when you guys do a Bible study too.
Absolutely. We can set that up,
gotta make
brother.
that happen.
For real. For sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is our brother DJ B+, live and direct. And you in Dallas area? Is that right? Dallas area?
Yep.
Yeah, in the Dallas area, Texas, but from Cincinnati. He probably like me ain't changed his home number yet, just like me. I still got the Memphis 901. I believe Cincinnati is it 513? Is that right?
Yes, sir. There it is.
Yeah. I know he probably still got that Cincinnati area code. I feel you. I understand it, brother. Yeah, man. Hey, y'all give some likes, some applause, some thanks for our brother being on here, man. We really honored, man, that you came on, man. And hey, much love to you, brother. Much love to you, man.
Guys.
All right, bro. We out. All right. Hey, man, that was awesome, man. Awesome interview with our guy, man. Big salute.
Yeah,
right, right.
I'm just I'm reading the comments, so I was a little bit off.
Wavy P, what's up, sir? We ain't seen you in a minute, man. How you be, brother? Appreciate you.
Good minute.
Yeah.
Miss Fields, I want to say thank you. I appreciate that. I received that in Jesus' name.
Yeah, I meant to
definitely,
say that.
definitely.
Where she said?
So I'm just going.
I want to put that up there where Miss Fields said that about us.
She said, thank you, brothers at C. Mike at Robert Dean. God's richest blessings to you, yours, and the community you influence.
Salute, man.
Thank you. Receive that. And I thank everybody who tuned in. Look, B+, that's cool. I like being able to have people on where it's not an everyday conversation with them, but at the same time, whenever they come on and they comment in the comments or it's an inbox or a DM conversation, it's genuine. It's like organic and it's not forced and trying to be fake. So
yeah, man.
definitely happy to have my brother on, man. He doing big things, and I'm you know what I mean? Like, salute to him, man. I pray that the Lord continue to open up doors for him and, you know, bless his YouTube station, his radio channel, and him and his family in their walk, man. I love seeing that. I love seeing it.
We're going to set it up one time and have our brother in. We will start having guests on the Bible studies, man. That was something in my heart that me and Rob ain't never really even talked about, but I was like, yeah, I would love to have somebody else in on the Bible study. I have to set up the graphics and everything, but it can be done, and it will be done one day. You know what I mean? And if you want to know who our top 5 is, guess what? We ain't finna tell you because we finna get up out of here. We'll tell y'all next week. Maybe.
Hey, look. And for those who don't know, when we do our Bible study, listen, man, we not on denomination. We just breaking down the word, and we make sure that we are trying to encourage those in and out of the body of Christ. With that being said, have you ever thought I really like what these guys are doing with this podcast or podcast plural? How can I help them? How can I help support them? How can I be a blessing? Show them what they need to do so they can see us on Thursday specifically. We need you to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. The reason we on YouTube only on Thursdays, we love to support our CHH community. And Facebook be flagging us, and we ain't got time for that. So on Thursdays, we're strictly on YouTube. Every Wednesday, we got a sports show that is on both Facebook and YouTube. And every other Tuesday, we on Facebook and YouTube with the Bible study. So y'all make sure y'all hit that notification, slide through, you say your stuff in the comments, and we put you on, man. This is a conversation between me and my brother here, and y'all are privy to our conversation because y'all are one words. If you don't know what that is, you'll figure it out one day.
Keep watching. With that being said, man, I'm C. Michael, man. Salute to our brother DJ B+ again, man. We love you, brother. God be blessed. God bless everything that you're doing and all your endeavors, man. We're honored to call you brother and friend, man, and we're really happy for you, man, especially with the stuff with Sirius Radio and all that, man. God is good, man. CHH is well and alive, man. We can do better, but it's well and alive, man. We got some ways to go.
We might have to get down to Dallas and hit that basketball, brother.
I don't know. This brother, now he played college. And I played. Yeah, he played D1. I ain't played D1. I got to ride the bus. I got to travel. I got a little meal money, but I ain't played D1. It's a little bit different.
We still play ball, brother. We still like ball.
This is true.
It'll be on a higher level than just fellowship ball. Everybody know what that is. Anyways, let's go.
All right, man. With that being said, I'm C. Michael.
I'm Robert Dean.
We out, man. We see y'all next week on Tuesday for the Bible study.
About our Father's business. Crime mode. Filled with this Holy Spirit. That's a cheat code. Holiness the standard. We never fold. We about to make a scene. Episode. About our Father's business.